Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I said I was going to come out in the garage, and I've done that. We're going to get a workout in here. I'm going to show you some of the things that I do. Actually, just probably one thing today with the bench press, but it's not glorious at all. But it has all of the equipment that I really need, including the snow blower that's over there, the heater that I have to hook up. And I think that our garage gyms, a lot of us at our basement gyms that we have, are all very similar. But I do think it's important to have it set up if you have the space to do it. Just maximize what you can do. And what I try to do down in this area is where I'm really focused in on some of the goal oriented workouts that I've got, as far as how much weight I want to do with very specific exercises, including what I'm going to show you today, bench press. So bench press, as everybody knows, is one of those exercises that, yeah, the benchmark is 225 for how many you can do. How that was ever established, who knows? That was, the NFL used that metric for forever. And they said you had to be able to do at least this many reps at 225 to be able to compete safely in the league. Now, bench press was never a strong suit of mine. Never, ever, ever was a strong suit of mine. Now that I've said all this is episode 15. It is Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, and it's in the afternoon, probably about, at this point, I think it's about 4 p.m. So my workouts, like I told you, they'll take place morning, right before breakfast, afternoon, sometime between like 11:30 and 12:30, right before lunch, dinner time, 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then in the evening, I'll eat a second dinner or late night snack, whatever you want to call it. And that's what my workout routines are. I try to get 4 in, but if I can't, that's totally fine. And those workouts, they just might be one exercise. That's it. One rep, or excuse me, one set, one exercise, 25 reps, and that literally would be it. I'm like, okay, I got it in today. That's good. I can move on and do whatever it is that I've got to do. And that's the really important part about this workout style. I just spoke to somebody today. They said the same thing. They go, I just get so bored with workouts, picking stuff up and pushing it up and pulling it down. And if you've never really worked out a day in your life, you're going to think of it the same way. You're going to look at it in the same exact way. That's why, but I did speak to somebody else, actually, multiple people who I have shown these routines to, who have worked out their entire lives, and they absolutely love it. They love it because it fits into their lifestyle. They can accommodate the workouts, and they feel great. And they're like, Pete, I love this. They're like, I just squeezed out 3 exercises. It was 3 total sets. And I did however many reps that I did. Like I said, I always try to focus in on 25 to 50 reps with whatever those exercises and sets are. And they're like, I just feel so good. And they're like, hey, I'm going to try to start improving. I'm going to try to start lifting heavier weight. And that's really what it's all about. So today's video, instead of doing all of the other things that I have typically been doing, and I'm going to try to break that up a little bit so I can do deeper dives in each and every one of those things for you. I know when you do, for me, I've been very blessed to be able to comprehend things at a very early age, and to be at peace and in harmony with a lot of things, including my relationship and walk with God. And that's become even stronger more recently. But I wanted to do this video for you today, just to kind of show you, because I haven't really shown you, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my workout. This is how it feels. This is how it looks. So I tried a bunch of different things. I set my mark. I wanted to do 225 pounds for 100 reps. And that was very difficult. And the reason, as anybody that's watching this is like, well, yeah, duh, that is going to be really tough. But I wanted to try to figure out my body. What at what points was I able to push through things, and at what points was I working against myself? And then I had to find a balance. Like, okay, what am I looking to do? Which I've always told you: durability, strength. Make sure I'm staying healthy. All my joints are feeling free. I get a good range of flexibility and movement and motion. And that's really my goal and objective. Well, when I tried to push up to 100 reps with a lot of the different things I did in the 2 minute hold, I found that I was working against myself with my max weight that I was able to lift. So I backed everything off to go to 1 minute holds and then 50 minute or 50 rep full, and because normally I'm a 25 rep full, and then I shot up to 100 for my micros, all the different levels of the micros that I do. That seemed to be a really good balance. I was getting really good increases on the top end of my holds and my micro movements that I was doing. Plus, I was increasing coming up from the bottom and how much weight I could push for however many reps I could. So, and I try, and I'm always marking down my increases, always marking down everything that I'm doing, and I don't beat myself up. Like, in my head, if I've done 30 the week before, I'm going to tell myself I'm doing 40. And all of the lifting is really, so much of it is in your head. It's discipline with your movements and your routines and your diet as well, and how frequently you're working out and knowing your body. But a huge part of it is in your head. So what I'm up to now is I'm up to 150. This is the best I've ever been in. Like, bench press, people are gonna be like, "What are you doing? Oh my God, that's so." Yeah, well, that's not the point. I set a goal for myself was 100 reps for 225. See if I could do it, and what I'm up to right now is 155. Now, I did get an injury, you guys. I told you about that. It was unrelated to lifting, and it just unfortunately just tied me up a little bit. I just tried to come down the other day with my most with the 155 was 30, and I had beat my old number by a lot going through the routines and progressions that I was. I'll go through those progressions in the very next video so you can see what I'm doing that's helped me, because bench press was never, ever, ever a strong point for me. Whatever went into it, I could lift so much weight with so many other exercises, but bench press was just not one of them. So I'm trying to increase that, and so I'm going to do the 155 now. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to do. The other day I did 24. My max has been 30. But you're gonna watch my movement here, and my movement is very disciplined. That's everything that I do is very disciplined. So I'm coming all the way down to chest, and I'm pushing all the way up. I'm trying to keep my elbows in tight. I know that's a really, really tough thing for a lot of people, myself included. When I'm doing bench, I do a little bit closer grip than I think a lot of people do with the bench press. But this is it. Letterman. Like, I just think about it. Anyways, whew. So, take a breather here. Probably should edit this, but you can see how important it is to get your wind back, to get your nervous system restored. Now, you saw my movements. Very measured, very disciplined, very methodical, not jerking it. Probably shouldn't. Not. I'm just not. So we got both hands were on the camera. But I'm not getting herky jerky. You don't see my back arch. I'm lifting within myself. Now, I just lifted this 2 days ago, along with my routine, my bench routine, and I was able to beat 24 to 28, and probably could have squeezed out a couple more, to be honest, and that would have put me at my high. Now, I'm not going to go through my normal bench routine. I'll wait till the next video for you, and I'll show you that routine. I won't do the full counts. That'll be boring, but I'm going to show you, hey, this is the progression that I do and why I do the progression the way that I do it and what I have been able to experience with it. I've seen gains in my chest and my bench press like I have never seen before. So I'm really hoping, and what I do is once I get to close to 50, I know I'm within myself. Now, with bench press, I need to go a little bit more measured with how I'm doing my increases. That's always a big question. The reason I settled in on 25 reps for most of my exercises was I felt like that was that, for me, that number, that measurable that I reached. And your body is going to be different. Listen to it. When I got to that point, I knew I could go up, no problem, not cheating, being very controlled and disciplined with every movement, because that's the key. You'll hear me say this and emphasize this. It doesn't matter how much you lift if you're not lifting it right. You're lifting for each exercise is, you got to be very intentional with the muscle, the way you're lifting, so that you get the proper muscle development that you're looking for. And you'll hear me emphasize that over and over and over again. So with this bench, what I would do, I'm at 155. Once I get to 50, what I'll do is I'll up myself by 20 pounds, 10 pounds on each side. And then I'll see how I do. Again, you have nothing but time. Whatever you're doing, you're working with yourself. You're trying to learn what your body is doing. And my experience has been going up that 20 pounds. I'm going to get pretty close to probably about 70 to 80% of where I was before that, which means that I would have anywhere between 35 and 40 reps, which is really, really good, a good mark to go up to. However, got to listen to my body. So if I do it and I don't go through to that 35 or 40 and I'm down to like 25 or 30, I got to make a decision. Am I going to walk it back to 5 pounds on each side and then see where I go from there, which is usually what I'll do, because that'll push me through the barrier. Because now that I've lifted heavier, once I go down, so if I'm at 155 and went to 175 and I'm just not able to get to my benchmark, my markers of that 35 or 40, that 70 to 80%, and I walk it back, chances are really good going back to that 165, I'm going to get really close to 50, 45 or 50. So I listen to that. If I'm able to, with the 10-pound increase, 20-pound total, get to where it is that I want to be, that's great. Next week, I try to get to 50 if I can. In my mind, I'm like, I can do 50, no problem. Like here today, it was like, get to 40. And I was able to get to where, even being on camera, this is really the first time I've ever lifted on camera, believe it or not, except, I mean, just showing you guys with the bands and things like that. And, but, so this was fun for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot, with yourself. And this applies not just to bench. This applies to overhead. This applies to all your heavy movements. All your heavy movements that you struggle with. Shoulder press, squats, deadlifts, farmer carries. Your shrugs, list goes on and on for all of those heavy movements that I've incorporated this into, and I'm going to show you the full range of movement in tomorrow's video. And I think you're really going to appreciate it and like it. I think there's a total of 9 different exercises that I do, with the bench press that have really helped me shoot up in the weight. Like my max for lift off, I put the weight up higher and I try to get I'm real close to full extension. And I got 445 off, and I've never done that. And with the 445, what I do is I do a micro like this, and then I do a whole. And that felt good. Like I was shocked. Like I think that day I was going for 385 and I just kept piling the weight on. And some days that just happens. If you're eating the right way, if you're getting the right amount of sleep, if you're reducing your stress level, if you're hydrating the right way, you can get to these numbers. But the big thing is work within yourself and set goals and have fun with those goals. Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless. Much love. Huge hugs. Take care. I'll see you all soon. Stay healthy and stay strong.